Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Mean here. Today I'm giving you a slightly different build than I would normally give you. This is going to be more of a skill monkey build. This is something I've kind of dusted off from a previous build that I did back in Kingmaker. While I'm using an Archaeologist, which I've done in the past as well. Amazing class. It's a subclass of Bard, if you don't know. The original build idea actually was for a Eldritch Scion, not surprising, and it was for a Serpentine Bloodline. So go ahead and check out that video if you're looking for something for Kingmaker. This one will work for this one as well, for Kingmaker as well. But the downside on this one is a lot of it is really geared towards the fact that we're going to have that mythic path. Part of the problem, I will say, that really is going to be about Wrath of the Righteous is going to be power creep, the bloat of all abilities and spells and everything else you're going to get from just your class alone is amazing, and then you throw in the gear, and then you throw in even more stuff with the fact that you're going to have mythic pass and teammates besides. This game gets real daunting real quick, so I'm hoping that these videos actually serve you guys well. Now, this character here, Illinois Jane, Archaeologist, obviously a play on words for Indiana Jones. She is a gnome, and the one thing that we need to talk about also for gnomes is the character that we have is actually a subclass of gnome, something that they've just recently added. So some of these things that I actually have, I don't actually get, like a defensive training giant that shouldn't work, and obsessive does. There's another one that should be missing as well. There's like a fighting stance or something that we get for fighting like goblinoids or whatever. And part of that comes from the fact that we are, see if I can find it, a traveler. So the traveler gnome, subclass gnome, loses hatred and defensive training, but has his base speed up to 30 feet. So you'll see that my speed is 60, 30 from a spell that I've cast on myself, and 30 base, which is another reason I kind of like this. New subclasses that they have, or sub-races that they have. Plus 2 racial bonus on Lord Nature, again, something else that we'll appreciate again. So when we talk about skills, you'll see that I have a lot of skills. The only one that's really suffering, quite frankly, is athletics. I put 1 point in it and never touched it again. There's spells that can buff me in that regard, but I'm not particularly strong, as you can see, and I'm even weaker than normal because I have a spell cast on me, so making me even tinier. I'm a pretty tough character. Being a gnome, they get a +2 to their racial bonus for con and charisma. Charisma being the main casting stat for a bard. Archaeologists are no different. I started off with a 8 strength, a dex of 15, not 16, 16 con. Intelligence was 14, in low side it's 18 right now. Wisdom is 8, lowered it, of course, to get it there. And then charisma started off at 18, and I never touched it again, except for, of course, with like magic spells or gear, things of that nature. I put 1 point in dex as soon as possible, so bringing it up to a solid 16, and then put all 4 points after that into intelligence, so I could be a skill monkey. That was a big boon as far as I was concerned for skill points for this character. Another reason that, you know, it'd probably behoove you to play someone like a human who get like free skills at every level. I wouldn't have to take the intelligence quite so high. Having said that, all I would have put it for would either been dex 2 more points higher, or charisma 2 more points higher. So again, an 18 for dex instead of 16, or a 20 for charisma instead of 18. So again, some fun to be had here if you switch things around for a different class. I went gnome though specifically for a reason. Part of that is, you know, they have an inherent buff for a variety of things. So if you look over here for perception, you see that, of course, anything that's not human gets keen senses damn near in this game, if not everything. So that's a nice buff. They also get a bonus for, where is it? No, not athletics. That's, I'm thinking halflings now. Nope. Knowledge Arcana? No. Knowledge World. There it is. Obsessive, the racial trait. So they get a +2 to Knowledge World skill points. It's just like a +2 on top of anything you already have invested in them. Notice again I have a Traveler bonus here for racial again for Lord Nature, which is again a nice boon. And I think that's about it. I don't think they have anything else really going for them as far as racial traits are concerned. Part of this build, part of the difficulty, I should say, of this build was not just picking spells, but also picking feats at specific milestones. We have Bardic talents that you see down here, 5 of them to pick, and when you get to level 10, when you can start getting advanced talents, it gets really interesting because you get things like Crippling Strike, and I could get improved evasion, which I did not get. Instead, I got point or precise shot like a dumbass. I should have grabbed that somewhere else, and I probably would have slopped out lightning reflexes. So you see this one here, this one's garbage. Know that precise shot wouldn't be here, but it'd be up here somewhere, and all this other stuff would be shifted around. Probably the last thing I'd put back here would be something called like stealthy, a bonus to mobility and stealth. Again, a boon for us, sure, but not necessary, really. So having it at level 19 is not the end all be all of existence. Doing that, again, would open up this slot, and I'd either shuffle stuff around in here, again, grabbing Crippling Strike either here, or again at level 10, and then I'd grab Improved Evasion here, or at level 10, whichever spot was open. This one has to be here, because you have to be, I want to say, a high enough attack bonus or level or something to actually unlock Blinding Strike. This one's actually pretty cool because we don't actually have to meet the requirements for it. It just falls in the fact that we have advanced talents and it's a bardic talent. Something that really just makes us amazing. You notice I'm using a crossbow just because I'm like running through the game to try to get to a decent fighting area. Haven't found one yet, but I decided, screw it, I just want to put this video together. Part of the reason for this build was because Archaeologists, specifically, bards are great, and it's because of things like their bardic knowledge. You know, bonus to all knowledges and all lores equal to half their bardic level. So a level 20 Archaeologist is getting a plus 10 to those 4 skills. So we have Arcana, you see the where's it at there? Other very bottom where it says bardic knowledge plus 10. Here, 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 and here. Notice I've kept them all even. That was a bitch. Trust me on this one. Persuasion always received ranks. So did Trickery when I was leveling it up. I unlocked everything by like level 2, I think, with my skills that I gave a shit about anyway. And then by level 3, certainly everything actually had 1 pip in it at least. So I had unlocked everything. The reason that's important is because even with athletics, you'll see that you do have class skill. Put 1 point in it, you get 3 points extra. Just once, and it's done. So again, I got a nice bump for just putting 1 point in everything, because for bards, including the Archaeologist, every skill is a class skill. This is one of the most powerful things about them. Rogues are another fine example of a class that does this right, where they're basically really good at being skill monkeys. So why was Trickery and Perception so important to me? Well, for 2 reasons. One, Perception, obviously you want to be able to spot traps, you want to find hidden loot and all that fun jazz. You're the main focus of the team, in my opinion, so that's a solid choice. Notice even Persuasion got full ranks. Again, you're the face of the team, not just because of your high charisma, but because you're the team captain. So having that maxed out made sense. And then why Trickery? Because why not? I mean, really, you're a dex-based build. Again, we're going to get a lot of skills. You see we have several here that bump our Trickery skill, not just the spell Greater Heroism, which is a nice +4 bonus to all our skills, but we get a circumstantial bonus thanks to us going for a Trickery Trickster Mythic path. It's at level 2, I want to say, just by unlocking Bit of Fun, which is this guy here. At Mythic rank 2, we get a +3 circumstantial bonus to everything. Another big boon for us. And then you start throwing in stuff like feats like Deceitful, Deft Hands. Of course, Clever Explorer, something that's specifically contributed by the Archaeologist, and I want to say that's this guy here. Nice bonus to Trickery and Perception, again, equal to half of our level. So again, Archaeologists really excel at being a skill monkey. They also excel in the fact that they give themselves Archaeologist luck, something I can buff myself with. Doesn't work on anyone else on the team but me, but it's like a Bardic Performance, and all the feats that apply to Bardic Performance, like extra Bardic Performances, would give me extra uses of this. Lingering Performance would extend the duration of this if I shut it off, right, like another 2 rounds. Those were applicable. Didn't use them, but it's a possibility. But this is a nice, because this is a nice luck bonus. And then again, if you go back to our skills, you'll see the thing that you don't see up in here. Remember, stuff doesn't stack. If it's morale and morale, you don't see 2 of them. Circumstance and circumstance, you see 2. So again, a luck bonus is yet to be attributed here. That can literally go up to as high as a +4 for us here. So that's another 4 points at any time. I can turn that little bastard on and get a 4 added to every one of these things. And more than just that. It does so much more than just a skill bonus. It's a bonus to your attack rolls, a luck bonus to your attack rolls, your saves, your skill checks, and your damage. Again, extremely powerful. So again, something you would really enjoy having on a character like this. There are some glitches still to report. For example, for some reason, and I can't explain why, I actually have really good damage with a crossbow. This is just a masterwork light crossbow. I don't have anything other than point blank shot and precise shot as far as damage. So this should be literally doing like 1d6, maybe 1d6 plus 1. But for whatever reason, I'm getting 15 points of extra damage, and I don't know why. And again, it's something that's extremely odd. I switch over to like a rapier, which is a weapon that an archaeologist can use. They have simple weapon proficiency, the ability to wear light armor, and even use a shield and not have arcane spell failure, which again something we could do. I didn't, but you could. But it's not more. There's more to it than just simple weapon proficiency. You read the whole thing; it'll tell you that they get access to long swords, rapiers, short swords, and short bows. So there's an increased list here, which is kind of badass. Really makes them extremely fun for doing a variety of different things if you want to go that route. This is, for lack of a better description, a traditional Gish, in my opinion. I'm old school D&D, and I'm used to when they unlocked bards for us, which was not original. You really had to like dip into like 4 or 5 different classes or something retarded just to unlock all the things that needed to unlock Bard level 1. You had to go crazy. So the fact that Bard is an actual class on its own now is pretty awesome. Of course, this has been a long time coming, so it's not surprising that it made its own list. So an Archaeologist is just another extension of that, in my opinion, and I totally dig it. Notice we get this cool Confident Explorer ability. So again, for trickery checks, you're going to be the person that's, I'm assuming you'd shut XP share off, and XP share for people only on the team. Why? Because if a team of 4 like this, and I'm going with XP share off, and I'm the only person that's doing all the skill checks, except for obviously athletics, which I suck at, I'd get all the XP for all those skill checks, those beautiful, beautiful skill checks, and I'll literally be out-leveling the whole damn party by leaps and bounds. And you should do so, in my estimation. This is the reason you make a skill monkey, so that you can literally get to 20 before anybody else by at least a level or 2. And this character will do it. They have access to spells. I mean, of course, everyone's going to thanks to the Mythic Path, but I mean, innately they have access to spells. Spontaneous casting, so spell picks are going to be extremely important. More on that later. But noted that since I've decided to go the Trickster path, which I've already unlocked and got 10 levels of it already, and picked its spells, notice that you're going to want to know what both of those spell lists are. I'm not going to list them for you here, but again, something you should dive into. If you can power level your character like I have using the Toy Box, Bag of Cheap Tricks mod, this is how I level my characters up. I suggest you do so. And this is the reason that I like doing this. Again, this is how I theory craft stuff, and I can say stuff like, oh, I really didn't need lightning reflexes. Boy, I really wish I would have grabbed precise shot up here somewhere. And then I would have gotten that improved evasion. Somewhere in here we got evasion. I don't know where the hell is that. That is it, right? Yeah, there it is. And the reason that that's important is because evasion allows you to avoid damage if you have a high enough reflex check, which of course we do, and we have all kinds of spells that'll even bump that up, whether we're buffing our dexterity, which we've already done, or giving ourselves stuff like greater heroism, which is another bonus, turning on my little song over here, my Archaeologist luck, which again will buff all my saves by +4 at the highest level. Again, we have a really good reflex save, and while that's good and that's nice to avoid all damage if you make the check, the improved evasion, the one that's missing, the one that I could have grabbed over here, for example, allows us to, if we somehow fail that check, which is unlikely, but if we had failed that check, we'll still only take half damage. So again, you can see the appeal. It makes you extremely tanky, so to speak. You may see that I'm not wearing like the best armor or have the best gear. I'm just, trumping through the game right now, just grabbing shit as I can. Of course, I have buffs right now from spells that I've cast, like Glorious Beard, a spell that came from the Trickster path. I really love it. We even found ourselves some stuff that's really keys off of our Mythic path. For example, not only do we have Abundant Casting at level 1, level 2, I grab Weapon Finesse Mythic right here. And that literally allows us to take any weapon finessable weapon that we're capable of using, again, the short sword, rapiers are solid choices right there, and literally use our dex modifier for damage now. Basically, it's making it an agile weapon. For any agile, or for any weapon that could be agile, it's an agile weapon to us now, because we have weapon finesse. So then this is, again, late, and that's Mythic rank 2, but it's not that late in the game. You're not even level 10 yet by the time you get this. So this is a solid upgrade, in my point. And then from there, it gets a little trippy. Level 3, I grab Ascendant Summons, and the reason for this is, when I looked at my spell list, some things became abundantly clear. 3 spells, schools of magic, were heavily prominent in the Archaeologist or the Bard spell list. Remember, we are spontaneous casters, so the spells are just freewheeling, and we're just, once you pick them, you have them. Well, you could get Conjuration schools. There's a lot of healing spells, there's a Conjuration, as well as summoning spells. Whether we're talking individual summons or summon monsters, where you summon multiples, or if we're talking about like summon elementals, you have access to all of them. And of course, we get even more summon spells with our Trickster Mythic path. So again, it thematically made sense. We're going to be a conjurer. The other part was, again, we are a gnome. Remember, I specifically said that being a gnome was important to me. Well, it's because of gnome magic. We get a bonus to our DC checks for illusion spells. And there was a decent-ish amount of illusion spells. Not a lot, like 4 that literally had DC checks. But having said that, let me list 2 of those 4. In Shadow Conjuration and Shadow Evocation. Now that spell, both of those spells, open up a world of fucking spells that are literally, all the Conjuration spells under it, but still considered an illusion, and all the Evocation spells under them, but again, still an illusion spell. Then you throw in the fact that the Trickster Mythic path had those spells as well, so certainly we grabbed them, and even one better, it had greater Shadow Conjuration, which again is just much better. So you can see the appeal for going illusion route, and there's even more illusion spells in the Trickster Spellbook as well. We'll show you that in a bit. But again, some serious fun we had there. Then the third school was Enchantment. Heavy Enchanter, being a bard, not surprising. It's kind of their thing. So again, illusion and enchantment kind of make a lot of sense. Conjuration was a little weird, but I'm not going to argue with it, and it's a solid upgrade. Hence the reason for Ascendant Summons, so that we can literally buff our little monsters that we summon periodically, whatever kind of monster we're talking about. Doesn't even have to be a summon monster spell. Just any kind of summons gets this upgrade. So that includes our summon elementals, and of course our summon beer elemental bastard that we get from the Trickster Mythic path. Hell, even our summon wizard, or perpetually annoyed wizard, I think is considered a summons, and therefore it should benefit from this as well. Not that he needs strength, dex, con, wisdom, and charisma. He needs intelligence, but it's not in that list. Still interesting. And there's some serious fun to be had with that. We'll talk about our upgraded to skills here, our Perception 1, Perception 2, 7, and so forth in a minute, because that's more confusing, and I need to explain why we did what we did there. Notice at level 4 we grabbed Piranha Strike Mythic. Again, something that I literally had by like level 2 or level 3 was Piranha Strike after getting Weapon Finesse at level 1. Why? Because I assumed you're going to be meleeing. Now I could have gone the other route and get Point Blank Shot, then Precise Shot, almost back to back. And you could do that and stay at distance for a little bit until you unlock again Weapon Finesse and then Piranha Strike. And again, there's viable options for those as well. But I wanted to get these things as soon as possible, and I wanted to make sure that therefore I had Weapon Finesse, because it's required for this, and Piranha Strike, which again is required for this. So I figured, fuck it, let's go melee. We're not going to be meleeing all that much at the beginning, but by level 3 or 4, you're probably tough enough that you can handle your own. Certainly by 4, because that's when you get your first point of dexterity. Bumping it from a 15 to a 16, that's even more armor. You can, of course, use a shield, a buckler, whatever you choose. Obviously, just not a tower shield, to give yourself some extra armor that route. Remember our Shadow Conjuration, which is, of course, later in the game. But remember, it gives you every Conjuration spell under it, and that includes Mage Armor. So if you wanted to go butt-ass naked and still cast Mage Armor on yourself, that's a viable option. Yes, an illusion. You just apparently believe the illusion. I'm not sure how that works, but whatever. It still works, and you get your bonus. So fucking take it. But I kind of dug the melee style. And again, sneak attack can be done with range in this game or melee, so there's nothing wrong there. On that note, because we knew we were getting sneak attack because of this, remember, you don't get it as a traditional bard or even an archaeologist for free. We have a spell that can give it to us called Sense Vitals, which of course we took. But it's not permanent by any stretch of the imagination. So getting these sneak attacks are extremely valuable, and we can enhance them. But the reason I point that out to you is 2 reasons. 1, again, it doesn't matter if it's melee or range, we can still get sneak attack. 2, we are going to be able to set up sneak attack because of our pets, our summons. Remember, all they have to do is be flanked by somebody, and that could be someone on our team or one of our summons. So if we get 2 of our or more like wolves attacking a guy, and we stand back and just shoot him with a crossbow, bow, or even like throw a spell at his ass that's a ranged touch attack, which we have several of, then we could actually hurt that target and get sneak attack damage as a result. So you can see the appeal there. Notice that we got powerful shadows. Again, a boost to our shadow spells. We have 3 of them by the end of the game build. We'll have, like I said, Shadow Conjuration, Shadow Evocation, and Greater Shadow Conjuration. It's not amazing, because there's 2 more that we didn't get access to. That's Greater Shadow Evocation and Shades. If you wanted that, you needed to play a wizard or a sorcerer or something that's high-level arcane caster. We won't get that stuff. But still, I'm very happy with the 20% buff. Now, what does that do? Well, the idea, I haven't tested this yet. The idea is, if you disbelieve like a fireball spell, say a Shadow Evocation spell I cast at you as a fireball, and you disbelieve it, you still take damage, but you only take like 20% or 40%, something like that. With powerful shadows, it increases that number by another 20%. So if it's, if you only, because you believe, or you don't believe it's real, if you believe that it's an illusion, let's say it that way, then you literally would only take 40% of the damage. Now you'll take 60. So it's at least helpful, making sure stuff still penetrates, if you will. So I thought that was interesting. Now that can be shuffled around, it's not necessary here, but it was right around the time that I was starting to get those shadow spells, hence the reason for grabbing it at that point. Notice we have the expanded arsenal, magic school, which went illusion. Why? Because the two feats that I really needed to get, called augmented summoning and superior summoning, required you had spell focus conjuration, which is part of our build. And after that, I'm like, well, I've already got spell focus, I might as well get greater spell focus conjuration, and it will help beyond just unlocking those feats. Remember, we do have attack spells that are conjuration spells. Well, if you grab this mythic feat, or whatever the hell this thing is called, mythic ability, you can grab expanded arsenal, and then literally whatever bonuses I have for another school, in my case conjuration, I can apply to any of the other schools. I just have to pick it. In this case, I picked illusion, so that gives me a +2 to the DC checks on all my illusion spells, another +1 thanks to me being a gnome. So again, it's all coming together, right? Wait, we're not done yet. So notice we got boundless healing. This one's not necessary, but you are a healer. I grabbed every healing spell level 1 through 4 for a bard. Another reason I love the bards is while they're an arcane caster, they do have healing. They got cure light wounds all the way up to cure critical, and then that's the when I stopped. But at level 5 and 6, I could have grabbed mass cure light wounds and mass cure moderate wounds at level 6. I didn't grab those two because I'm like, yeah, they're kind of lame. But boundless healing, however, has two benefits to it. One, it increases the range of the healing. So if it's 1d8 is healing for cure light wounds, +1 per caster level, maxes out at caster level 5. That's a cap. That cap is now removed thanks to boundless healing. So that means if I'm caster level 20, I can do 1d8 of healing +20. And they finally fixed the part where it says it's a reach spell for all your healing spells. They are reach spells now, and I can prove that too. So again, I was pretty happy to test that, happy to see they fixed it. I didn't even submit that as a bug report. Someone else must have complained, and I'm happy you guys did, because that's a very nice increase. I mean, if it's in the tooltip, you expect it to work. And we're still finding more bugs as we go. Notice after that we have what's called mythic feat. That's actually a lie. This is another example of a glitch. So what did I grab at that level? See, so you got boundless healing, and at level 8 then I would have grabbed, improved abundant casting. You can cast levels 1 through 6 spells for your bard school. Actually 0 through 6, because you get cantrips. So at 1, 2, and 3, thanks to abundant casting way up here, I got 4 spells a day extra. Remember, we're spontaneous casters, so we can just say spells. Same with 4, 5, and 6, thanks to level 8 here, where I grabbed improved abundant casting. That's another 4, 4, and 4 for levels 4, 5, and 6. So that's a total of 12, and another 12, that's 24 free spells a day. I think that was worth it. Again, could be shuffled around, doesn't need to be grabbed so soon, but there's other stuff that, again, came late that could have come sooner. Example is enduring spells. A buff to our spells that are going to buff us, where it's going to last for up to an hour or longer, will suddenly turn into a 24-hour buff. Then we grab greater enduring spells, and you may wonder how the hell you're grabbing these things side by side like this, because shouldn't one be down the same path? They are. This is where Mythic Feat's interesting. We can literally, in this category, we can grab stuff like extra mythic ability. And extra mythic ability are these guys over here. So when I grabbed enduring spells here, I knew that this step I could grab an extra mythic ability, the next upgrade, which is greater enduring spells. And this one allows us to take our spells that last upwards of 5 minutes, minimum 5 minutes, and then suddenly they're a 24-hour buff as well. And yeah, it's a little late, and maybe I'll shuffle some stuff around, like again, get abundant casting and then improved abundant casting a little bit later. But again, I still maintain these are solid upgrades. You're going to want them at some point. And again, we have really good spells like Greater Heroism. That's a 1 minute per caster level buff. +4 to your swing, +4 to your skill checks, +4 to your saves, like temp HP. Just a bunch of shit you get from that one spell. And it lasts for upwards of 20 minutes. Why? Because it's 1 minute per caster level. Well, now, thanks to Greater Enduring Spells, that's a 24-hour buff, baby. Cast it on yourself and love it all day long. And again, I've just buffed myself with some recent things before this last fight. Notice I got like Cat's Grace, I got Eagle's Splendor, I got what was another one here? Owlbear. I don't know what the hell is that. Oh, we must have ate something. Oh yeah, that's part of my skills. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I have Protection from Evil. That was cast from something else. Bit of Fun. Again, another little buff that we have for ourselves. Microscopic Proportions. That's a nice buff. Notice how those aren't getting 24-hour increments. That's not true. I haven't reapplied them. You see how it's a 4-hour plus long buff? I've taken 2 naps in the progressing of the dungeon, so that literally has taken so much time that it's down now to 4 hours and change. Same with like Greater Heroism. That's a 24-hour buff. So the fact that I've been playing and napping and everything, that buff is still on me when I wake up, which, yeah, I love stuff like that. Same with like Mage Armor. So again, we got some really good buffs here. A Good Hope, which again you may think is overlapping with Greater Heroism, and certainly it is because they're both morale buffs. First, this is an AoE teammate buff, but notice this one gives us more than just Greater Heroism does. While it's only a +2, it's to attack, saves, ability checks, skill checks, and damage rolls. So weapon damage rolls. So that's the reason you want this one, because it gives you 2 things that this one doesn't give. Whereas this one also gives you immunity to fear and some temp HP, and of course all the buffs that it gives are +4. It doesn't buff damage, and it doesn't buff abilities, whereas this one does. So there is overlap for a reason. Let's talk now about the different things that we get there, our basic skill upgrades. So when you play a Trickster, you can take any of your skills. Doesn't matter if you've invested ranks in them or not, which seems weird. Like you think it'd be like a requirement, like you have a mythic or a Trickery of at least a 4 or 5 or something to be able to unlock this or something, but they haven't put that in the game. Point is, any of the skills that we have, like literally any of our character skills, so all these things here, are on this list. They give various buffs depending on what rank you get, and you can only unlock so many of them. So you can get only 2 of them, for example, at rank 3. So here's one here and one here. I recommend both of these right now. They have yet to install it where every skill gets mythic rank 3. But the ones that I have right now are pretty badass. For example, Knowledge Arcana 3, you can reveal item properties that aren't even there and couldn't possibly be there. Every time my main character here, identifies an additional random major, an item, they get an additional random major effect. Let me show you an example of what that looks like. So if we go to this character here, I've identified this mace. Normally it's just a heavy mace of fire +1. It's something we get in the fight we just dealt with. It's a +1 weapon, and it does 1d3 of fire damage on a hit, which you can see in the bottom tooltip there, the very bottom sentence. Notice how it says Enhancement +1 and Enhancement +2. Part of my upgrade for Knowledge Arcana, so Knowledge Arcana rank 1, Knowledge Arcana rank 2, and of course finally Knowledge Arcana rank 3, which I have, is a step increase each one. So the first one increases the enhancement from +1 to +2. So that's why you see Enhancement +2. That's not a +3 now. That is just a +2. And again, you can prove it to yourself by going over here and seeing that she has a +2. Notice it also, despite being a fire weapon, which it always was, see how it's also agile and unholy? I can't tell you which is what, but one of them is a minor buff, and the other is a major buff. Where do those fall? Notice again, if we track it by following our Knowledge Arcana. Here's rank 1. You can now understand how to use magical items. Every item with an enhancement bonus that you identify, again, her, has an enhancement bonus increased by 1. So that's how I managed to get that from a +1 to a +2. So that's because of this. You want to get this reasonably soon. The more items that we find, obviously, the better they're going to be. Who wouldn't rather have a +3 weapon versus a +2, a +2 versus a +1? You can see the appeal, and it's permanent buff at that point. Notice that's just rank 1. Then we unlock rank 2. Where you at here? Right here. Again, extremely late. Again, these things will be shuffled around to suit my needs. But you want to get rank 2. Why? Because now we can unlock a random minor effect every time we identify an item again. Now, again, this doesn't work on every item. For example, I'm not getting this to give me anything if I identify the Cloak of Resistance +1, for example. And I don't even get this other one, this Knowledge Arcana 1 rank. Didn't give me a bonus to the Cloak of Resistance +1. It didn't become a +2 cloak. It just stayed a +1 cloak. So it doesn't work on everything. So maybe that's a glitch. Maybe it needs to be reported. I haven't decided yet. But I'm still pretty happy that I get it. But notice that this is also required to get Arcana rank 3. That's the biggie here at the very end. What does this one do? This is the one that gives the major effect. Now again, I'm assuming that the mace I just showed you, her mace, the agile was probably the minor. The unholy was probably the major. And if you look at the info of it, it will literally be in here now. So they must have this on probably like a random roll table. Why do I say that? Because you don't usually agile heavy mace. It's just not a thing. I'm just assuming that it's just, you'll probably get a different thing. Just like a random table generator. I'm assuming. I haven't tested this. But again, 2 powerful upgrades here, quite frankly. And again, you can see the appeal you're going to have with a character that has this much fun. for things like identifying stuff. And again, since I am the skill monkey, I may not have the best knowledge arcana. I can buff it really, really good though. And I'm probably going to be, for the longest time, the person that does most of the checks, again, with the exception of athletics. I have said that. What other ones did we unlock? Notice we have Trickery 1 and 2. I was going to get Trickery rank 3. It literally allows you, if you grab it, to insta-kill a person using Trickery as your skill. Literally, it's the weirdest thing ever. Like, you literally get an ability to click it. It's under your abilities tray, and you can target somebody, and if they fail the check, which is, again, matched against DC check and your Trickery skill rank, not how many how many points you invest in, not how big your Trickery skill is. So again, to show you my Trickery, we're talking that it's a 20, not the 58, because its ranks was necessary, and it specifically said ranks, so that's fine. Because a 15 DC check plus 20, that's a 35 DC check to kill somebody. That's hard for them to pass that necessarily. So you can see the appeal. It's still kind of weird, and I said, that seems kind of cheating. And I'd rather just kill stuff the old-fashioned way. But it was a possibility. And again, I'd rather have the Lore Nature and the Knowledge Arcana rank 3. So you have to be choosy here. But what did rank 1 and 2 give us? Well, here's Trickery rank 1. Literally allows you to cast the equivalent of Dispel Magic for free. And I do, before you ask, have Dispel Magic on this build. I even have Greater Dispel Magic. Well, guess what rank 2 does? It gives you Greater Dispel Magic on tap. Again, based on the Trickery check. Now, I probably don't need it. Why do I say that? Because Trickery rank 1 is more than enough. It's at a minus 10 penalty to our Trickery skill check. So the fact that I had a big 58 or whatever the hell it was a moment ago, that's huge. So 58 minus 10, I have a 48, and I still roll a 1d20 to try to either remove it from a point on the ground, like a grease spell that someone casts, or a target, like a specific bad guy I'm trying to strip magic spells off of. Again, I basically have Dispel Magic on tap with this as an ability. And again, because of this, because I didn't know this ahead of time, I could probably now swap out Dispel Magic. I still think I probably want it. Certainly want Greater Dispel Magic. And again, it's simply because this one suffers a minus 20 penalty. And again, we're still doing pretty good with a minus 20 penalty, because again, 58 minus 20, that's still a 38 to the check. And then you get to roll a 1d20 on top of that. So we're still doing well. But it's probably not necessary. Now, where would I put the other one? So again, something's rank 1, something's rank 2. Obviously, you have to get rank 1 first. What would I recycle this into? So something else has to go up to rank 2. Well, here's Perception. And I could probably got that to rank 2 and been pretty happy. I didn't. Same with Persuasion. It's rank 1. Way the hell down here. I could swap it out earlier and get Persuasion rank 2. Maybe that's of value. I haven't really delved into it too much. There's some other fun we had with like the religion and the athletics and mobility and all the other skills. But these are the ones that I went with. Notice how I have Infused Magic Device. That's the rank 1 version of Used Magic Device. It's a play on words. I kind of like how they did that for this one. I wish they would do that for all of them, quite frankly. Notice how it's a prerequisite for this rank 2 version, which is called Reuse Magic Device, which we also have that one. These ones are pretty nice. This one here at first allows us to... our mythic rank is now added to the caster level of things that we're using that are magic devices. That includes wands, potions, scrolls. So because I'm mythic rank 10, any of those things that I use, whatever rank, let's say I use a wand of magic missile. It has rank caster level 1 built into it, which means you only shoot 1 missile. That's lame sauce, right? It's something you would throw in the trash. You'd use it up and be done before you even get to like mythic rank 2. But let's say you kept it. This one would allow me to cast it as if I was level 11 instead of the level 1. Why? Because I'm level 10 plus the built-in level 1. You add them together. Same with potions. I get potions all the time. Shield of Faith potion does 1 minute per caster level. It's a caster level 1, so it only lasts for 1 minute, and a +2 to your armor class. Because of this, Infused Magic Device and me being rank 10, it's considered caster level 11. How do I know? When I cast it on myself, I get 11-minute buff. Actually, I get more, because it keys off of enduring spells and greater enduring spells. So I get it for a 24-hour buff. Point's still the same, though. I get that buff better than it should have been, and I get more armor, because again, it's based off your caster level. Base level 1, it's only going to give you a +2 to your deflection armor class. Base level 11, on the other hand, I get like I think a +3 or +4 on that bastard. So that's not bad. So again, you can see the fun you can have with just this guy alone. And that's the level 1 version. Level 2 version, on the other hand, is even better. We use things like wands, and we no longer use charges on them. Remember that wand of magic missile I was just bragging about? It's a piece of shit. You'd never fucking use it, or you'd use it up so fast that you'd throw it in the trash because it's garbage now. Well, if you keep 1 charge on it, by the time you unlock this, which you should probably get sooner than later, like maybe instead of my Trickery 2, I could get like Reuse Magic Device sooner. Point is, I can use those wands infinitely. And remember, because of infused magic device, those wands have, you know, steadily increasing ranks or caster levels to them based on my mythic rank. So again, I could, by the time I could unlock it, which would be here, it could be 4 levels higher. So it'd be a level 5 magic missile casting, which means, let's see, 1, 3, 5, so it'd be 3 missiles shot out instead of 1, and it'd be infinite use. You can see the appeal. Give her all the fucking cool wands, you know, fireballs and shit that are only like caster level 5. Again, it'll be caster level 9 and higher. Finally cap out at 10, of course, because it's still cap on the spell. But it'd be a 10d6 fireball spell going out, and I'd have infinite uses. All I gotta do is save 1 charge on it. And because of this, as long as she's the one using it, never a problem. Same with the other spells that she's gonna have access to. So think about like the cure light wounds wands that she's gonna fucking come across. The cure moderate wounds, cure, you know, critical wounds, all that shit. Keep 1 charge on it. When you finally unlock this, hand it to her. She's going to be a fucking monster. Just healing shit left and right, never run out of fucking juice. Buffing people with like the Death Ward wand that she finds. Boom, boom, boom. Everyone gets a Death Ward. And it'll get it for many, many rounds or minutes per casting. This is a fucking amazing buff bot she's going to be because of just this. Then throw in other stuff like our Lord Nature, where we get Lord Nature 1, where we get every time we take a nap, we're just going to find random items. We get food enough to feed ourselves, so I don't even need to bring rations anymore. That's fucking awesome. We get a random potion or random scroll, and that does work literally. If you, even if you autopilot, like if I were to do control F10, you can go to toy box and make yourself rest all. It will literally go into my kitty, and I'll actually see that I got a potion or a wand out of nowhere. That's rank 1. Rank 2, it gets even better. We find some gold now, and we get potions, scrolls, and other valuables every time we rest. And again, better food and all that jazz. We get the Lore Nature rank 3. We get a really good meal, and we start finding actual powerful magical items at this point. So again, I've yet to see this do anything, but it's probably going to work. If not, someone's going to bug report it, I'm sure. So that's a solid upgrade as well. Notice Knowledge World, literally some DC check stuff that we're going to have to deal with. Again, if this works as intended, my Knowledge World being high is likely to pass this initial check, and that gives me a bonus to all other skill checks if that works for me and my team. So again, skill monkey, perfect synergy you got going on here. So a lot of fun here. And persuasion, as weird as this one is, this is basically the equivalent of Cornigan Smash or Dreadful Carnage, where you kill somebody and you AoE scare everyone, or not Shattered Fences, Dazzling Display as soon as you walk into a fight. This literally, I start any fight, and there's a demoralization check based off of my persuasion for me to try to scare everybody. And you'd be surprised how many dudes I scare with this build, because I have a persuasion 45. And again, I can get it higher with other stuff buffing me. Just saying, there's some serious fun to be had here for this type of build. And as weird as that is, don't forget you have your summons that we're going to get as we level up. We got sneak attack dice, which of course is extremely appreciative. We get Bit of Fun, which is just another way of saying that we get to cast an illusory copy of ourselves, so basically a cheap version of Mirror Image for free. Not that we didn't have access to that spell, we already did. But again, when we run out, or if I just need a few, Bit of Fun. Woo. So it's nice. So it's really, really appreciated that you get that like 3 times a day. And again, that also adds our creative approach, where we get like bonus to all our skill checks across the board. This is just the epitome of skill monkey, is going the Trickster path, in my opinion. And again, I'm happy that Illinois Jane is the character I did it with. Well, let's talk about spell books then. Okay, so first, between the Trickster and the Bard, you'll see a lot of synergy, a lot of stuff that's the same. And a lot of people would say, well, then you probably should be something different than a Bard if you're going to go Trickster, because again, you're going to have the same overlapping spells. Why? Why would I want, I mean, if they're good spells, why would I want more of them, right? I have 5 castings a day of this kind, and they're still level 20. I have 9 or 10 castings of the same spell over here, 11 castings of Grease over on this side, and again, it's still an amazing spell, and it's still level 20. Why wouldn't you want more of the same? Well, maybe you want to diversify. That's why I say level your character up. Find out what spells you have access to. Bard levels 0, you get all those. But 1 through 6, you have to pick and choose. You get 6 to pick from here, 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 here. You get 5, here you get 5, and that's it. For Trickster, it's a little different, but it's very similar. Again, you get 6 to pick from on their list, and the list is not only inclusive, but new stuff. Damaging spells we love, some illusion spells we didn't have access to, summons that were unique and weird. Not to mention all the cool free spells like the Summon Small Beer Elemental, or the Fish Missile, one of my favorites, Bear's Grace. Again, some really cool shit that they're going to give us here for free, and those you just get them. But you get like 6 at each of those levels, and then at level like 5 or 6, they start to drop down to like 5 or 4 a day, that you're, sorry, 4 a day, 5 or 4 that you get to pick as you level up. Same with level 7. Some of these are free, some of these are just ones you have to pick. And again, the list is pretty fucking cool. To go through this briefly, notice that I grabbed every illusion spell I could find. If it's not on the Trickster path and it was on the Bard path, I grabbed it. Only if it's an attack spell. I mean, there's some illusion spells that could give a rat's ass about, like Vanish. I don't care. Illusions, though, like your blur, your mirror image. Again, I don't mind getting it on one of the builds, on one of the spell books, but I probably didn't double up on them on the other guy. Notice how I grabbed mirror image twice here at Bard level 2, and notice that here at Trickster level 2, I also got mirror image here. You may say, well, you just said you didn't grab them twice. I grabbed some things twice. I even got Hideous Laughter twice. Weirdly, the Trickster's Hideous Laughter is level 2. The Bard's version is at level 1. Right here. So again, I double up on them. Why? Because I like them. They're good spells. They're good spells for a reason. I grabbed damaging spells. I grabbed, like I said, level 1, 2, 3, and 4. I grabbed every cure spell we had. So cure light wounds, moderate wounds, serious, and critical. All the single target stuff. And again, that worked out well with my bountiful healing, or whatever the hell it's called. Or boundless healing, where I can literally shoot it and, of course, remove the cap, healing even more. Making me a really nice spot on, temp healer. It's like not quite a cleric, but useful enough. And because again it is a race spell, because it's a melee touch attack normally, with that boundless healing, I can shoot it as a reach effect. I can target undead with that shit and still shoot them. And then again, another conjuration spell, so there's a saving throw for it for those that were damaging undead. But we have a bonus to that thanks to spell focus conjuration and greater spell focus conjuration. You see how it all starts to come together. Other stuff, auto hit spells, I can make sure I grab enough of those. Got some nice crowd control effects going on for us, penalty buffs, debuffs, things of that nature. The thing that I was missing was reach Metamagic. I could probably slop it in somehow in the build, but something would have to suffer as a result, so I would just rely on Metamagic rods. So I could do things like shoot at a distance, things like Touch of Gracelessness, or the Trickster version of it, which is level 2, Bear's Grace. But this one already has medium range, so you can actually shoot that one, and again, boom, -8 to their dex. Just a massive fuck you. Between the spells, though, the books, we have a lot of ray spells. We have a lot of melee touch attacks, which could be turned into ray spells. We have a lot of debuffs. We have a lot of spells that have a lot of saving throws, but again, falling in those categories mostly of Conjuration, Enchantment, and Illusion. And we have bonuses to Illusion and Conjuration right now. So again, we're doing well. We have a lot of spells that are no saving throw and no spell resistance. Make sure that's important to you. Again, find those. Again, Shout, Greater Shout, find examples of ones that the Bard had access to naturally. And again, solid spells. Not amazing damage, but again, damage that you'll appreciate because, again, when you fight those demons and spell resistance could be a problem. It's not a problem for this. Sonic resistance might be, or sonic immunity could be an issue, but other than that, this is a solid upgrade. Ear-piercing Scream, weirdly, is affected by spell resistance, but things like Shout and Greater Shout are not. I don't understand the logic behind that, but whatever, it's what it is. I'm going to run with it. Notice, again, that Shadow Conjuration, that thing really gives us a laundry list of cool shit to pick from. Same with our level 5 Shadow Evocation, and again, another one of those spells that I doubled up on. You see that I have it over here on the Trickster path, and same here again. And then at level 7, we finally get Greater Shadow Conjuration, something that the Bard didn't have access to because A, they can't cast level 7 spells, and B, they have to make the Bard a pansy at some point. But again, we get really good stuff like Ray of Halberds, a ray spell, literally, where we get to send 1 halberd for every 2 caster levels. I'm level 20, so for 1 target, I can shoot him 10 fucking times with a halberd, and it's considered a ray attack, which means there's a chance to crit on every last one of them. There's a chance for sneak attack on every last one of them, and I have sneak attack as a Trickster. This is something they knew you're going to have, and then throw in the fact that as a Bard, I can cast this spell and give me upwards of 5d6 more sneak attack dice. And again, that stacks. So again, I can do some really heavy hitting damage with my ray spells. And I was really happy when the Trickster unlocked things like Snowball, Shocking Grasp, hell, Color Spray, which you'd think a Bard would have access to. Nope. It's here though. Same with Reduced Person. Bard, nope. But again, I got it on my Trickster path. So again, extra dexterity for my character that I definitely needed. Fish Missile, free spell that you don't even have to pick, they just give it to you. Again, that is a ranged touch attack, as weird as it is to say, and it will do sneak attack damage. Awesome. We also have, let's see, there's at least a couple more in here. Oh, new spell, by the way. This was something that I didn't catch until when I was going through this build. Breath of Money. This was not a spell we had access to back in the day. Either that or didn't have the tooltip reading correctly. Notice how it will chew up your coins to do it. But there's no spell resistance. The duration, I don't understand how that fucking works, but literally it's a cone, and you will literally bludgeon them for 2d6 points of bludgeoning damage per mythic rank. Well, I'm rank 10. That's 20d6 of damage. That's better than a fireball spell. And it does reflex for half damage. Of course, that's always the thing. Uses up some coins to do it, but imagine the coolness of just shooting money at somebody and just saying, fucking die. That's pretty cool. They've added a new look to Glorious Beard. It wasn't there before. When you cast it on yourself, it doesn't work all the time, or it doesn't translate when you zone from one map to another. But your character on the face, you'll have an imposed image of a face that looks kind of like this, but it's almost like a glowing man face with a glowing locks of flowing beard. It's just funny as shit. Some really good stuff in here, and again, lots of illusion spells again on the Trickster path, not surprising. You know, almost greater invisibility, lots of crowd control, stinking cloud, something we didn't have access to as the Bard. But good news is the Bard had access to delay poison, or I didn't get it at level 3, but I could have. Communal delay poison was available at level 3. I chose not to get it. I'd rather have these spells. But again, delay poison would make you immune to stinking cloud. And you may say, well, that's awesome. What about, Cloud Kill? That's something we'd love. Sadly, Cloud Kill wasn't on the list. However, go back to your Bard. Remember how we had this spell, level 4 here, called Shadow Conjuration? Any Conjuration spell that's level 3 on down, because it's a level 4 spell, I can cast. Well, Cloud Kill's not a level 3 on down. Yes, but if you go back to Trickster and level 7, here's Greater Shadow Conjuration. So it's any Conjuration spell level 6 on down, and that includes Cloud Kill, baby. So now you can stand inside the illusion of Cloud Kill. The bad guys don't know it, probably, and they'll step into that shit and they'll start fucking losing all kinds of health while you're standing in it with your immunity to it, thanks to your delay poison spell you cast on yourself and your team. Some serious fun to have here is my fucking point. Now, I've gone on in graphic detail on this stuff, and again, I can't tell you what to pick and how to pick it. I noticed that I didn't pick, though, any summon monster spell that was lower than level 3, with the exception of the Trickster one, because I was running out of stuff I wanted to have, and I just wanted it. It only lasts for a minute, but hey, fuck it. I'll take that little bastard. It's a murder pony. They're fun. Other than that, though, again, remember our augmented summoning and our superior summoning works for when we summon any more than one animal, or one monster, whatever we're talking about, we get another one. If you're only summoning one, like if I were doing the summon Lager, I always said that was wrong as large. Lager Beer Elemental, didn't catch that until the other day, which is funny as hell. This is amazing. It doesn't work with superior summoning, but it will work with the augment summoning, where I get a +4 to their strength, +4 to their con. Also, it works with my mythic path, which was my, how do you go, ascendant summons, where they get a bonus to strength, dex, con, wisdom, and charisma, equal to half my mythic rank +1. So half of 10 is 5, +1 is 6. So that's, again, should stack. So we're talking, I'm giving them a +10 to strength and a +10 to con, which means they're extremely tough. They're extremely high hit points, better fortitude, and stronger, which means they're probably more likely to hit, and certainly will hit for more damage. So you can see the appeal of this build. It's definitely a solid character. And again, I wanted to show you that there's a way of making character that's completely atypical. It's not something that you would think would be any kind of fun to play, because it's mostly a caster and skill monkey at this point. Yeah, I have weapon finesse. Yeah, I have piranha strike. That's what I grabbed here. That alone is enough for me to do damage with a melee weapon. So again, if I were to switch, just to show it to you, again, I'm seeing good damage over here. Again, more than I should be seeing, I think, quite frankly. Notice how I have +9 for my dexterity, thanks to my weapon finesse mythic. Any finessable weapon like this one here, I get that dex modifier back. So I'm getting 9 of that. So take that down 9 points. What would that leave us with? That'd be 18. Where am I getting the 18 from? I'm getting some of it from Piranha Strike. -4 +12. Or, yeah, +12 for me, because I have Piranha Strike Mythic. Should be +8. So 12 and 9 should be 21. Where's the other 6 coming from? I know I'm getting 2 from... Where's my spell? It's called Good Hope. This one right here. So that's giving me 2. So again, I'm still getting more than I should, and I don't know why. And it's not magical, because this is literally not a magical weapon. I have not cast anything to buff that weapon as a magical in any way, shape, or form. So I'm getting more than I should. So glitch in there somewhere in the matrix. I'm not going to say anything, because I'm happy to take the extra damage. But the point's still the same. It's pretty weird. Notice I identified this natural necklace. If I come over here just to show this to you, notice how it's +2, even though it says it's +1. That was because of my Knowledge Arcana upgrades for the Mythic Path. Literally, it's going to be a master saving of your team when you get stuff like solid upgrades, like the Agile and the Unholy, a +1 extra buff to the weapon, and armor, by the way. Notice this one here. Here's what happens when I identify this one. This one's supposed to be a +1 armor with An insight bonus to armor class against undead. That's it. Notice how it's +2, not +1. So again, they don't stack. It's just better now. I wish they would actually X that out or remove it, or say temporary enhancement +2 or something to delineate the fact that it's better. But again, you can see it up in here. Notice how it got acid resistance 10. I'm assuming that's the minor upgrade. And then the major upgrade was electricity resistance 30. That's just for me picking it up and having my character identify it. Boom, you got all that shit for free. And that's going to happen on every piece of gear that I find. Or most pieces of gear. Remember, it didn't do shit for my cloak. Didn't do anything for my rings. So far, I don't see anything on the bracers or the cantrip glows or anything like that. But some serious fun to be had here with this character. Now, that's more than enough to talk about the character in detail. Just to show you a couple other things real quick before they said we're not going to go fight anybody. Let's go. Let's go make a mess. How about we cast a spell like Grease? Amazing spell, right? Everyone knows how Grease works. Trick guys, piss them off. And again, the devs have been nice enough to add level 0 for everyone that can cast spells that dismiss spell effect. I think that if they don't, they get weird abilities. Same difference, but this literally would be how I remove my own effects. But let's just say someone else casts this. I can't remove it with my dismiss spell because it wasn't my spell to dismiss. But the trickery buffs I was telling you about, here's trickery rank 1 point, trickery rank 2 target, which means literally a body. Notice how we have trickery rank 2 target again. So again, differences here. And then here's trickery rank 2 point. So again, this one I think is just a typo. This should be trickery rank 1. But this one here is when you point on the ground. So this is dispel magic for the ground. Notice that I dispelled it, but notice the check. You roll a 1d20 and 10 minus your highest trickery skill. My trickery skill is at a 58 right now. So that's why it's 48 here. So a 2 and a 48, that's a 50. My DC check for some reason on that grease spell, and don't ask me how it's a 31, but it's a 31. Why do I say that? Because if it's my grease spell, and it was, where's my spell book? That grease spell should be, if my math is right on this, difficulty class of 19. Why is it 19? It should be 10 base, 1 from the level of the spell, so that's 11. My charisma modifier, that's my casting stat, so 6, so that should be 17. Why is it 2 higher? Remember, I have spell focus conjuration and greater spell focus conjuration, so that brings it to 19. So that, as far as the book is concerned, that's an accurate depiction. Difficulty class 19. Notice again, same with Cure Light Wounds. Difficulty class 19. It's a conjuration spell. Notice how evocation drops down to 17 because it doesn't have any spell focus or greater spell focus. If I had an illusion spell level 1 like I do over here, notice difficulty class 20. Why is it 1 higher? I'm a gnome, remember? So this is actually working as intended. Again, why it's a 31 on that check, I don't know. But it seems to be a thing. So something that's buffing it in some way that I'm not catching. But the point's still the same. Just trickery level 1, the ability to target the ground like a web spell or a Sirocco that someone cast or grease like I just showed you. Anything that's on the ground that's impeding my team in some way, shape, or form, I can dispel it once I unlock trickery rank 1. I may not be good at the check initially, but you saw I invested heavily in trickery. The last thing to say is let's actually go through the feats here. So again, at level 1 we had weapon finesse. Again, you're a gnome, you had no choice. I specifically made myself the traveler, and I made myself have Shellen as the priestess, whatever. And as far as the background was concerned, I gave myself the arcane background that gave me an acid cantrip, the acid splash cantrip. Infinite use, and I figured, I'm going to get sneak attack eventually. Hey, there you go. And it has no spell resistance associated with it, and it's some damage that I get for free, and it's not auto, it's infinite use. So I figured, fuck it, let's grab that. Then, notice that we have all these things that we're getting for free for being an archaeologist. At level 2, we got this one here. At level 2, we picked up Piranha Strike. It's called Combat Trick, and that's what I grabbed here was a Piranha Strike. Level 3, I grabbed Deceitful, and again, these things will be shuffled around a little bit. Notice I grabbed Deceitful, and at level 5, I grabbed Deft Hand, another Trickery bonus, and as well as Use Magic Device bonus. This one here is Trickery and Persuasion, something you definitely cared about. Notice down here, at level 6, I grabbed, 6, what did I grab? I grabbed Point Blank Shot here. And I grabbed, after Deft Hands, I grabbed Persuasive. Then I grabbed Spell Focus Conjuration. This will be about when you start getting your spells to a level where you can start summoning pets. So maybe I'd push that a little sooner because here's where you actually get Summon Monster 3. So Spell Focus Conjuration before 7, and then probably Augmented Summoning at least by 7 would be a good call. So again, stuff would get shuffled around. Notice that I grabbed Crippling Strikes here as soon as possible. Once I can do sneak attack damage, and again, you need sneak attack to be able to unlock this. So make sure that you have the Trickery Mythic path unlocked by that point, because you get your first sneak attack at level 3 Mythic rank. As long as I can get that by level 10, which I think I can, then I can get this here. If not, then again, I'll grab the Improved Evasion, which is this thing, but better, here. And then I'll push Crippling Strike back to here. And I'll get Blinding Strike way the hell back here. And then again, like I said, I had, after Spell Focus Conjuration, notice we got our Augmented Summoning and our Superior Summoning, and we got Stealthy. This would probably be the last thing I get, because it's only for Stealth and Mobility, and I don't really care about those two all that much. And I have Greater Spell Focus Conjuration again, which will probably be sooner than later. Again, solid character, solid skills, really fun stuff that you get to do with the character. The fact that you get Uncanny Dodge is awesome. The fact that you get Evasion, and then I can unlock Improved Evasion would be awesome. Again, we will not get Lightning Reflexes. That's where Precise Shot will be up in here somewhere. Again, solid character. Got the ability to melee, got the ability to cast spells, got the ability to range attack. I can do melee touch attacks well, thanks to Weapon Finesse. I can do raise spells well, thanks to Point Blank Shot and Precise Shot and high dexterity. I have really good spells in that regard for the Trickster path. One just to point out to you before we finish this video is... where are you, little bastard? Microscopic Proportions. This spell you can cast on yourself. It gets 1 minute per caster level, just like Reduce Person. However, while it makes you tiny, it doesn't deplete your strength. It stacks, however, the width, and I think that's a mistake, it needs to be submitted as a bug report, but I ain't going to do it. It stacks the width Reduced Person. See how I have size bonus for Reduced Person, and I have other for Microscopic Proportions. That's a +8 to my dexterity, +4 to my armor, assuming I can use that much dexterity wearing the armor I'm wearing, which I totally can, because I'm not wearing armor right now. I'm wearing my bracers and the mage armor spell. I'm butt-ass naked. Again, solid bonus to your attack. I've got a really nice attack chain going here, where I got 3 attacks in a round. Real nice dexterity bonus, because I'm so teeny tiny, thanks to Microscopic Proportions. A nice base attack bonus. Again, we're right in that middle-gish level of, you're not quite a fighter, but you're not as sucky as a wizard or a sorcerer. Again, you got a lot of buffs here, and again, I've yet to turn on my Archaeologist luck. That'd be another +4. So if you do that, move around with that little bastard. Look how everything goes up another 4. How I got another 4 to all these. My saves went better. Again, this all across the board, you're a solid tune. You're a self-buff bot. You're helping the team. You're summoning pets. You're casting spells for damage. And weird as it is, you're not the best damaging caster, except for maybe against undead, which you're okay. Your Piercing Scream is solid. Nothing in here but Sense Vitals adds to your damage output. Nothing in here that adds to your damage output. Again, the monsters are there for a reason. Haste, I suppose, adds to your damage output. And Good Hope does give you damage buff, and that buff to your swing. Shadow Conjuration, on the other hand, now suddenly we have all kinds of spells we have access to. All those Conjuration spells. Acid Arrows in here. We got Pit spells in here. Certainly the Greater Shadow Conjuration will have more of the same and then some. So like Acid Fog will show up in your list. Acidic Spray will be in the higher list. And again, of course, that's for the Trickster level 7 spell. But again, Shout's a good spell. Shadow Evocation, now we finally have access to spells like Fireball, Lightning Bolt, Dragon's Breath, Scorching Rays in here. So anything that's an evocation spell that's level 4 on down is there. Key Shout, another sonic attack. Again, you're a bard, you're all about screaming at shit. But a solid 20d6 of fucking damage to a target. Again, there is spell resistance, but you're doing well for yourself. We have pets to just like beat the shit out of stuff, and I did go summon Huge Elemental. I could have grabbed something else maybe in here, but at this point I decided, you know what, I really need my own Elemental, totally forgetting about the fact that we already had Elementals coming on this spell book that we got for free. The Beer Elementals, and of course the Grizzly Bear, one of my favorites. Where is he at? Is he in here? No, it's the medium one here. Grizzly Bear, right there. Lager Beer Elemental. And then of course we have yet to show you some of the best ones. Where is he at? The Greater Beer Elemental here, but then you get the Elder Beer Elemental, summon Perpetually Annoyed Wizard, another Ray spell, another Illusion spell, Phantasmal Putrefaction. Pick that one up on purpose though. And then where are you at? Summon Hog of Desolation, another summon spell. So we got a lot of Conjuration, a lot of Illusion. This is really matched up nicely. But with that, that's all I really wanted to show you guys. My name is Brother Mutant. Well, one last thing. This ability, which constantly hops on my tray, some of the glitches that I'm sure you guys have been seeing. This is your Stealth rank 1. I could have gotten rank 2 instead of getting, say, Trickery rank 2. But rank 1's good enough. It literally just gives you invisibility instantly. So again, while you may say, well, you have greater invis, you have vanish, or have access to them at least. Sure, this is autopilot. Like literally, I can just click it and bam, I have it. See how I went to stealth mode immediately? It's more than that though. This one literally, unlike other illusion spells where when someone notices you, everyone suddenly on their party notices you. This is bullshit. This one, only if they actually perceive you do they notice you. Do they actually see you as not being invisible. So literally, if I could walk into a room and like one of the 5 guys spots me, he can attack me. But his other 4 friends are like, what the fuck you shooting at, Pete? Boom. Stealth. And I got my ninja attack. And of course, as soon as I attack, of course, I'm unstealthed like normal. But while that one guy can shoot at me, having infinite use of stealth, invisibility, it's fucking amazing. And I thought you guys liked it. But again, with that, my name's Brother Mute. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think of this build. Know that the next build I got is someone specifically requested that I make something I would never make, a mount build. We're doing a Cavalier, I think, just because I want to see what Cavaliers have to offer. That'll be tomorrow. So for those of you that were hoping that I would get outside of the, you're casting too many spells, show me what a fighter can do, give me something else to work with. Well, here you go. It'll be a Cavalier mount specifically build to show you what those might have to offer. I'm not going to be impressed, I can tell you right now. I'll match a good mythic path that I think would make sense for it. You know, buff bot of some kind. You know, something that protect me, protect my mount with some offensive spells besides, because fuck it, who doesn't want an offensive spell every now and again? But that'll be tomorrow. With that though, I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.